This video is sponsored by the KKK. Let's see how long I can survive in the most dangerous part of a random impoverished area. Bro, just give me your money, bro. Just open your wallet, man. Just give me like $2, bro. Just give me money, bro. Dude, for the longest time, I was actually a complete lurker on the internet. I didn't smash that like button, I rarely ever subscribed, didn't even think of leaving a comment unless it was to defend the 2016 Powerpuff Girl reboot, or start instigating on Miiverse. Yeah, I was a menace back then. I think my Miiverse account actually got suspended for a bit. Looking back, it was probably for the best. I was your classic stupid kid with unrestricted internet access, yada yada. But I think I was able to turn out relatively alright because I only stared into the abyss, not actively frolic in it like some of these youngsters. I've been using Twitter a bit more frequently because I enjoy stabbing myself in the testicles, and the amount of straight kids you come across who are entrenched in the internet is crazy. Or even on YouTube, I'll watch some dumb black pill video and see some comment saying, "Bro, I'm 11, and I already know it's awful for me." Like, no, bro, it hasn't even started. Leave this land, bro, leave this land. Like, I'm not going to deny at all that I saw some weird stuff on the web, but there is a very clear separation between the digital realm and actual reality that was bolstered by my complete lack of engagement with the content I saw online. Little Shrub's not interacting at all with the media he consumed probably prevented him from being groomed in his favorite YouTuber's Discord server, which is always a net positive. But as he aged into the big, black, and beautiful Shrubster you see today, this behavior kind of persisted. Never interacting with videos and forums, never really doing anything with all the cool stuff I saw. For me, people on the internet were these ethereal figures that were either too famous or too talented for me to ever match up with. And the internet itself is just a place for me to consume content, similar to television. Only difference is, the internet followed me everywhere, and I could never really log out. As a consequence, the internet became boring. So incredibly boring. Sure, it was mildly entertaining to watch these YouTubers with millions of subscribers making actual professional level content, but what was I supposed to do with all this? Was I supposed to become fanatic and form parasocial relationships with people who will never know of my existence? With the only value I provide being the attention I give them? Just perpetually consuming so they can profit? There's probably something I can say about capitalism here, huh? I was to spend the rest of my days being spoon-fed by an inhuman algorithm, constantly being barraged by the voices of content creators who, whether they like it or not, depended on my attention to keep the lights on. Though despite this codependence, I'll never leave substantial impact, even if I did smash that like button or post a comment just quoting a line said in the video. Like, seriously, some originality. In a space where I could come into contact with anyone and everyone in an instant, I felt that it was nothing more than a simple observer.
So, you're saying the internet used to be different?
I'll explain, but let me get in a more comfortable and iconic position first. Back in the late 90s and early 2000s, the internet was this cool new thing, an infinite space of possibilities. But as time went on, certain websites took more and more traffic. So much traffic that they became an entire planet on their own. They became so massive that they were impossible to ignore. They gained complete dominance on the internet. This huge group of planets is what's called the core web.
Oh, so the monopolistic normie conglomerate. Got it.
As much as the core web liked to have all the attention on itself, the infinite space around the core web still exists. It's called the peripheral web. If you've grown tired of the core web like me, this, right here, is where to look for new websites and experiences.
Wait, you telling me the internet is more than just naked women, flash games, and rage bait? That's an actual world filled with normal-ass people like me? And I could interact with these people? With every website being a true reflection of the creator's personality and interest because there's no incentive for it not to be? The internet became fun and actually relatable. I feel like it's very hard to remain relatable on the internet once you gain some traction. I don't care how low quality your camcorder is, how authentic and real you're being, how old school your Call of Duty commentary. The second you get more than, let's say, 60,000 views on a video, your paradigm shifts. Suddenly you become concerned about how often you're uploading, asking the audience what kind of content they want to see, worrying about retention, because all those things give you tangible benefit, either due to the attention you get or the money you receive. You have to position yourself as above the audience, because if you aren't, then why are they watching you in the first place? Even if you're one of the fortunate few who don't give a rat's ass about any of that, you're still not safe from becoming an ethereal figure I mentioned earlier, because as the audience grows, they start becoming more and more faceless. The dude you can count on to comment on all your vids gets buried under the hundreds of other comments. Really sweet email complimenting your stuff? Throw it with the rest of them. You're firmly positioned as a person who makes the content, and the audience is the one who consumes it, which is an inherent power imbalance that kinda kills any relatability for me personally. This platform depends on multiple viewers watching a relatively smaller number of creators, because that's how you can best monetize attention. And as a result, the creator is seen as a concept rather than a normal person. I think the reason the indie web was such a breath of fresh air for me was because of the dynamic between the creator and the viewer. It constantly shifted. The creator could just as easily be a viewer as the viewer can be the creator. It feels like we're all on equal grounds. I can find a really cool, well-made, relatively popular site, message a webmaster about it, get a response, and they can become a fan of my website. Now, I'm usually on NeoCities, which is still a sort of social media for websites, so naturally there are levels of popularity which contributes to some webmasters being a little more conceptual than others, but not to the same extent as YouTube or Instagram or Twitter. It's an actual community built around personal expression, not an individual, and the only thing you need to join is a simple website. Now, this is not to say I don't have my gripes with the indie web movement. I do think a lot of it is nostalgia bait, old good, new bad, and just clinging on to the past. Some people like the idea of having a website rather than us actually having a website, and as a result kind of fall into generic mediocrity trying to fit the image of what a website should be. Kinda similar to the artist I hated in my other video, but I didn't say anything. But most of it is fine. Here's a tiny lore drop. I initially wanted to make videos exploring the internet, going through different websites and the sort. You can actually kind of see this in my second video on my old channel, where I hit the stereotypical, drop your ideas, what did you do next in the comment section? Give me your attention, give me your attention, give it to me! Then I realized I like shouting into the abyss a bit more, and here we are today. Back to the point. It's been pretty surreal to be on both sides of the coin. I make stuff, and like 1 or 2 people see it, so I guess I'm kind of a big deal, but I don't know. But I'm also a viewer, I'm part of the audience. That's why I keep my subscriptions public and comment on stuff I like. It would be nice to grow more popular so I can feel validated and finally show all the people who ignored me that I was cool and just the person they needed in their pathetic lives. But then it will become a concept, with fans who I'll never be able to truly interact with and don't actually do anything with my content. Popularity will lead to a community entirely centered around me. A one-way transactional relationship built off the idea that I'm better than you. And I just don't like the sound of that. So why am I making YouTube videos? And how do I avoid the fate of becoming an influencer? Well, I make these videos because they're fun. And I post them on YouTube because it's a free, accessible video hosting platform with no upload limits. That's, sorta it. Outside of maybe getting that sweet ad revenue so I can buy chicken katsu curry bowls, I have no plans to actually make this a career or even close to a job. I would love to be part of a greater community of stuff makers that all interact with each other like NeoCities, but I don't think that's possible on YouTube. The creator-viewer dynamic is just too unbalanced for it to happen, and the barrier to entry is simultaneously non-existent and way too high. Sure, anyone can upload a video and become a YouTuber, but that video has to pass the test decided by an uncaring algorithm which is designed around maximizing retention and then gets thrown into an ocean of billions of other videos that is impossible to navigate through. Like, oh my god, YouTube search actually sucks so much, bro. Like, what do you mean you also may like, bro? Just show me the thing I looked up, bro. Just cut my hair, bro. Just cut my hair, bro! So nice! The hype leaderboard and the collab feature have been a tiny step in the right direction, I will admit. And the algorithm's not afraid to show me videos of little to no views now that it's figured out my tastes, which is also pretty nice. But at the end of the day, there's just too many people on here, and no way to form communities based on mutual interests rather than creators. The only option is to check out other places on the web. I already mentioned NeoCities, but there's a couple more. Newgrounds is exactly what I want from a video website, but it's kind of exclusively for animations. The community contests, the forums, the porn, the collab feature, the featured movies tabs, the porn, the fact you can actually sort by genre and see everyone's favorite movies, the porn! It's just so peak, man. Thank you, Tom Fault. thank you. Jokes aside, on top of everything I just listed, I think the best part of Newgrounds is the rating system. Every video that gets uploaded on Newgrounds goes under judgment, and has to be rated high enough to actually get posted on the main site. This makes every single rating mean so much more than they do on YouTube. 1, because it's out of 5 stars rather than a like or dislike, and 2, someone had to watch your video and find it worthy enough to rate. I know Newgrounds can afford to have this judgment system because there are much fewer videos being uploaded daily on YouTube, and everyone is there to watch similar content. But I really like the idea that the community gets to choose what does well or not, rather than some stupid clanka. If you're an animator, or illustrator, or game developer, and you're feeling disheartened over the lack of engagement you're getting on your stuff, check out Newgrounds. Sure, there's less traffic compared to the mainstream sites, but the traffic you do get will be a lot more meaningful than the average lobotomite whose thumb has been trained to double tap anything that has pretty colors. I'm kind of hesitant to recommend SpaceHey. Conceptually, it is really cool. Yeah, MySpace nostalgia bait, but the ability to completely customize your profile with HTML is sick. There's just a lot of, and I don't mean to be rude, but a bunch of Tumblr emo kids on there who discovered a place from TikTok. More power to them, of course. I've heard that's how the original MySpace was, actually. But there's only so many raw XD as a man can take. Also, it's a much slower social media. You aren't supposed to mindlessly scroll, and you actually have to curate your experience, which is great, but can be kinda intimidating. In fact, it's probably the only true social media left. Since you can customize everything by your profile, everyone has their real selves on display. There's no meaningless posturing to impress people you don't care about because likes and followers don't mean jack, and you're allowed to be social and talk of other people across the world about a wide variety of topics. Like, I'm seriously expected to believe that the pinnacle of social media interaction is leaving a comment saying, or stunning, gorgeous, beautiful, like some fucking Sonic, like Sonic Trick System, Sonic Unleashed, like, woohoo!
Feeling good.
SpaceHey gives normal people a place to talk about their normal everyday lives and interests within communities that they choose, not what the algorithm decided will keep them on the platform the longest. Which I would much rather see over the 100 millionth influencer posting about their unfiltered, boring-ass life because as much as I hate to admit it, they're addicted to the attention they get and the potential to monetize. Like, I'm sorry to tell you, man, but these guys do not give a rat's ass about you. They just like looking at your face and or body, and will easily forget about you when someone else comes along. And even then, you're just taking advantage of their attention so they use your code at checkout. I know SpaceHey seems like a Y2K Instagram where people roleplay like it's the 2000s, but it represents so much more than that. It's the only organic social media I know of where you can actually meet people, and you should use it. YouTube has its place on the web, no doubt about it. It is a treasure trove of information, and there are so many talented people on here making actual art. It's also the best place to go if you want to reach as many people as possible. I don't want to make it seem that popular equals bad, and YouTubers who want to deliver high-quality content are inauthentic. I just don't like how passive it is as a platform. Same with TikTok, same with Instagram. Reddit can actually be pretty engaging if you find subreddits related to your interests. Mainstream Reddit is actual putrid sewage. Oh my god. Earlier, I asked how I can avoid the fate of becoming an influencer. Now, I'm gonna be an underground hidden gem for a long time, probably forever, so I don't have to worry about popularity turning me into a concept. But for bigger YouTubers who bank off their personality or life experiences, how can you possibly care about the audience when it's so large you don't know anything about them? Well, you can't. And frankly, you shouldn't have to. I know, I've been going off about relatability and being down to earth, and all that is real important, don't get me wrong. But the rude idea in this video is that both the creator and the audience should stand equal to each other, and I think the only way for that to happen is for them to be one and the same. The objective is not to be the singular center of a community that everyone is attached to, but rather be a beacon that people can use to find those similar to them. The creator should simply introduce the discussion, shout to the world that, hey, I'm here, and if you're anything like me, then you're not alone. Whether that be through their interests, their style of content, their sense of humor, or their life stories. Something that people can link to. Then once everyone congregates around said creator, they can now interact with each other. The audience can share their thoughts, show their videos, expand and build off the initial creator to the point that they become beacons of their own. Everyone is connected. Like some sort of internet. The 3D Gang and Storytime animators are prime examples of this. Bigger YouTubers like RDC World hosting events like DreamCon is also a really nice way to go about it. But even just keeping subscriptions public and being able to see liked videos would do wonders for more organic discovery of creators. It's so much nicer to get recommendations from other humans who like what you like, rather than literal ad-pumping robots that don't care about you. There's this animator I follow, Infinite Chaos. I was initially put off by joining this dude's Discord server, because I didn't want to be some parasocial fan, but I've discovered so many talented artists that I never would have seen if I just left it to the algo. And I've actually kind of talked to him a couple of times, though you may not remember me. You shouldn't be expected to be best friends with every single one of your viewers to be relatable and real, but I do think it's very important to give your viewers a platform for them to interact with each other and put them onto other creators. Emphasize that YouTubers actually watch other YouTubers. I know, crazy! I know I said I make these videos because they're fun, and that's a big part of it, but there's a bit more to that story. I make them because I want to meet other people who make stuff, and honestly I want to inspire at least one person to make something cool themselves. At the end of the day, all I really want is for everybody to clap because everybody is pleased, and then they all take the stage and start performing for me, like... And here we are again in the Outer Bounds. God, man. This video, I never thought I was gonna finish this video. And I think this with every single video I make, but this one especially, I was like, no way I'm actually gonna get this done. And here we are today. I got it done. Oh my god, I can't believe it. The hardest part was definitely finding images and videos and music. That's always the hardest part. Trying to scour the internet to find specific examples of what's in my mind, it's so hard, man. And there are some videos I just can't find anymore, and I'm kind of disappointed, but it is what it is. I also want to mention that this is going to be my last video for a bit. I'm going to go back home for my school break, and I can't bring my PC with me. So I'm going to transfer my files to my laptop and just spend all of break reworking my models, changing some things up, trying to practice experiment in general. And I think when I come back, you know, this will be a training arc. This will definitely be a time skip. That's all I got to say about that, though. But yeah, I just wanted to reminisce. Looking back on how YouTube used to be, it was completely different. It had everything I wanted that I described in this video. It's like a combination of MySpace and YouTube. You can completely customize your profile, man. You could friend people. You could like reply to other videos with videos. Oh my god, a 5-star rating system? Like pre-2013 YouTube, look it up. You would be blasted by how different it used to look. And I wish so badly. I know I talked a lot about nostalgia bait and Clayla, but like I really wish we could go back to that kind of YouTube. But if I did have some suggestions outside of going back to how YouTube used to be, I like the collab feature a lot. And I think that's a really nice feature. I like the hype leaderboard too. The idea of just being able to show a video to someone else's audience, it's really nice, you know, instead of having to depend on the algorithm. Like, one of my videos got recommended under a dude eating Subway, and then another video talking about, like, the train system in Texas. Like, I don't know. And they emphasize that tags don't mean anything on YouTube, like, they don't help with discoverability, so, like, how does it work, man? I really don't get it. I really wish there's a way to actually categorize videos better than just putting random tags or just hoping that the algorithm understands like what you're trying to make, but I don't know. I do think a really nice feature to add to YouTube would be the ability to see other people's homepages and other people's algorithms. I don't know how, like, that sounds like a nightmare to code, maybe, I don't know, I don't code, but, like, if they brought back the friending system and made it so you can see, oh, what your friends are watching, their homepage, you can switch between them, dude, that would be so great, man. Because I find myself getting so tired of the same videos, and it's like, man, I wish I want to completely step out of my comfort zone, I want to see what someone else watches. And that would be so awesome. YouTube, please, man. Like, make me the CEO, bro. Come on. But honestly, the best we can do right now is just keep my subscriptions public. I am an open door. I don't want to gatekeep anything. I'm thinking I'm going to use the community tab to like post videos I just like, and I'm going to try my best to actually put my subscriptions on my homepage. Underground YouTube does exist, and there are a lot of very underground, very underrated YouTubers making some crazy stuff out there, and I want to show them to as many people as possible. Even though I'm also an underground YouTuber that gets like on most 100 views on a video, but hey, we on the come up, bro. I don't know. I'm getting too optimistic up in here. Last thing I will say is that if I ever stop animating and start streaming video games for donations, bro, put some lead to my head immediately, bro. Like, oh my god. I'll be seeing ya.